Hello and welcome back to Cannes Lion 2025. I'm delighted to be joined now by Daina Todorovic, who is the Chief Client Officer at Sixième Son. Now Daina, it's been an absolutely massive year for Sixième Son. You guys are fresh off winning a bronze award at Cannes Lions, which is very, very exciting. But also you've had that rebrand over the past year as well. I think that's completed about 6 months ago or so.
Yeah.
So perhaps you could tell me a little bit about how the agency is evolving with the times and sort of what that rebrand does and sort of being part of that process.
Yeah, well, I think, as we are right now probably the largest global sonic branding agency and the only independent one. And, our team has evolved. We are based all around the world. And we really felt like our brand needed a refresh. I've been with the company for about almost 13 years now, and I've seen it change over time. And I think what we really tried to do was hone in on both the creative aspect of the work that we do and the fact that it pulls in both sense and design and strategy all in one. And so to be able to convey that and remain fresh and relevant and contemporary, we really needed a look and we needed a language to communicate that with people. And I think we did that really effectively. So I feel good about our presence in the world, our new website and the design and the way it's easy to interact with. And it actually helps us showcase kind of our approach to sonic branding, which isn't just about sound and making nice things for brand. It's sonic branding by Sixième Son. Like, we really have a unique approach. We've been doing it for 30 years, and I love sharing it with people. Actually, it feels very familiar to agency folks and brand people because it's very similar to a creative agency, like a visual creative agency's approach, except our tool is sound and music. We have a really interesting approach that is quite unique, and I think it helps us deliver excellent work to our customers. I have rarely had a customer or a brand that wasn't more successful after we created a sound for them.
Well, that's fantastic to hear, and I have to agree, it definitely was a successful rebrand. It was so bold and confident, and I think it reflected your guys' spirits perfectly. And speaking about that theme of spirit, you guys are very, you have that kind of independent spirit. So what does that kind of look like in practice when you're working with clients, and sort of how does that help elevate the work for them?
That is one of the reasons, actually, I love working for Sixième Son, is that we are independent, and it gives us this ability to be super nimble, to be bold in some of the choices we make, and to not get mired down in like timelines and paperwork. We are able to flex with our clients. If somebody needs something, like we have Maybelline as one of our clients, and sometimes they have like 48 hours to get something done, and we can do that, and I can turn things around for them really quickly and deal with some of those things that might slow you down later, just because I'm able to make those decisions because our team is small and fast. I think our independent spirit, part of that inspires us to be different. We want to push our clients. We don't always want to play in a safe space, and we're okay with a little discussion about what the right direction is for our clients, because we really want to deliver something amazing. And so I think being independent allows us to be flexible all around. And that comes with also making it possible for any brand to come to us, regardless of their budget. And usually we find a way to make it work. So I think that is one of our strengths, for sure.
So it's interesting, the idea that you talk about pushing your clients to go a little bit further. I was going to ask you next about clients pushing you to go a little bit further, based on the fact that perhaps attitudes towards sonic branding are changing. Could you tell me a little bit about that in the context of Sixième Son and whether you see that as a potential challenge?
I actually, I can't say that I feel like clients are pushing us further. I mean, sometimes with budget, but it's really more that they understand what the potential of sonic branding is more now than they did in the past. 10 years ago, it was all about education and trying to help brands understand that sonic branding isn't only for brands that are on TV and that need a track to support their TV commercial. Or the other default was, oh, it's a jingle. So those are the two sort of challenges we had. And now I'd say about half of the teams we talk to, agency and brand, have a really good sense of what sonic branding is and the fact that it's a system that you want to develop and build and grow and use to so that wherever your brand shows up, it sounds like your brand, but it's an ownable trait. So I don't know if they push us so much as we're finally more aligned with what sonic branding is and what it can do for them and what we need to develop. So it's more than just a logo. And so it's actually made things a little bit easier, to be honest.
Absolutely, that's really interesting. And I was going to ask you a little bit as well about B2B clients, and if they are slightly different, perhaps they have a tighter budget compared to B2C clients. And how do you sort of convince them that Sonic is something that's worth investing in?
Yeah, I've never had trouble with that. Actually, my background is in healthcare advertising, and it was always direct to professional. And so I started working with Sixième Son with an understanding more of what B2B touchpoints are and where sound can be leveraged to make things more powerful, connect with people on more of an emotional level. And to be honest, I often find their budgets are bigger.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and once we talk about where they're showing up, at convention spaces, on their telephone hold, there's often an immense amount of digital content online, on their websites, on YouTube, maybe sales materials. It's kind of a no-brainer because they also realize that they've never really thought about sound. They've invested a lot in their visual identity and what they, their strategy for their positioning and what they say to the world and how they show up verbally and in copy. But they realize that musically they are just a sea of background music, and that they happen to more times than not they sound very much like their industry and many other industries. So there's no differentiation, and we know that consumers and B2B, everyone is bombarded by sound and advertising and media. I think we get over 20,000 brand ads, like brand communication or impressions a day. And people are spending almost 5 hours on sonic content in some format every day. Wow. Imagine that it's 4.7 hours of audio content a day in some form, which means that if a brand doesn't have a sonic brand, they're missing out on this opportunity. Who knows who's talking to you if your music just sounds like everybody else? It's really interesting when you end up. When we enter into the process with a new client, we do a brand audit. We try to understand if there's anything, if there's any equity in the sound that they're using, and then we take a look at the competitive set and try to get an understanding for, is there an opportunity? Is anyone doing things well? Is there a sound that everyone's using? And more often than not, everyone's kind of playing in the same safe, tepid background music kind of water. So there's always this great opportunity to say, we know what to do. You are going to stand out and shine, and people are going to notice you. So it's a nice thing.
I think that's such a great outline for the benefits of sonic branding, but also you guys as an agency and what differentiates you. And in that vein, I was also going to ask you just finally about your guys' future. So what's going on at Sixième Son? Have you got any exciting project launches you're able to discuss a little bit about?
A lot. I'm trying to think if I can talk about it. Well, there's a big tennis tournament coming up in New York in a couple of weeks. So that's something I'm really excited about and really busy with. So I'm excited to see that come to life. There's a lot. I mean, Maybelline is always doing really new, cool, innovative things, and they really push us to think out of the box when it comes to activations, where sound can come into play, and how we can transform their sonic logo into something much more. So we're creating playlists and really, really exciting stuff for the fall. And then we have some new B2B clients too, but we can't mention them yet. But there's a lot on the horizon. It's going to be a busy, busy year. Yeah.
Fantastic, and we look forward to reporting it all at Transform. Daina, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure. Cheers.